Okay, guys. This is for either my Facebook friends and or my TeamSpeak friends from DRC for Guild Wars 2. So, I'm in SPVP right now on a Guardian, which I have no idea how to play for the most part. Guardian's roles can be either support, damage, or whatever else. They're mostly boon-giving protectors. For the most part, they have a lot of boons. They don't have a lot of health, but they can get a lot of toughness. So, I mean, not like a warrior. A warrior can get pretty much everything. It's not really funny. If you have questions about the game, ask me in a message. We're on TeamSpeak. You guys know I stay on TeamSpeak constantly. Price is the game. What videos you want to see next based on what you've seen on the Guild Wars 2 website. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. The way Guild Wars 2 works, weapons are based off of skills, or skills are based off of weapons, excuse me, of whatever weapons you have. Now, if I have two maces, which I can't wield, it's only main hand only for Guardian, my skills would be entirely different over here. I'd have completely different skills. Same thing for my main hand. You can weapon swap every 9 seconds while in combat, and it's 3 seconds out of combat. You have your boons. You got Aegis, Might, Vigor, Stability, Regeneration. You get so many boons in this game, it's ridiculous. It's not too bad, but anyway, Aegis blocks the next incoming attack. Vigor gives you 100% endurance regeneration, not gain. So you regenerate it a lot faster than you normally would. And endurance is your ability to dodge. So dodging is really helpful in this game. If you can't just sit there and whack at something and expect to live all the time, because dodging is going to help you a lot. Also plays a part in your traits. I'll get to traits in a second. With the Guardian, each class has their own utility, own class-specific abilities. You know, for a thief would have the ability to steal something, not necessarily take anything, but gain an item based on what they stole from. So if I were to steal off of a Guardian, I'm going to get a mace crack skill. I'm not going to steal their mace and render them completely useless, but it's something I could use. Mesmer's got shatter skills. Guardian has virtues. Now, my virtues. A virtue of justice. Every 5th attack I cause burning. My virtue of courage. Every 40 seconds I get Aegis. Remember, Aegis blocks an incoming attack. And virtue of resolve, which gives me health regeneration. It's not a lot, but it helps. However, I can also use these, give them up to 5 allies. I can give up to 5 allies this effect. I can make them inflict burning for 4 seconds on their next attack, not their 5th. I give them 3 might and retaliation. Might increases your power and your condition damage per stack, and boons like might stack up to 25. That's a lot. Duration is another story. And retaliation reflects incoming damage back to the source. Now if something has protection on it, protection's going to reduce damage 33%. So if I have retaliation and protection, and something hits me for 1,000 damage, Well, I'm not going to receive the full 1,000 damage because I have protection. It's going to be whatever the damage is minus 33%. But whatever hits me for 1,000 damage is going to get the full 1,000 back. But I'm not going to get the full 1,000. I'm only going to get, you know, I'm not going to get a lot based on the protection that's on me. So it's kind of difficult to explain. That's why I'm sitting here soundless. I never really liked math anyway. If I were to use virtual resolve, I won't get the passive effect. Just like any of the passive, I have the passives here right now. But if I were to use them, I don't activate them. I don't get the passive effect. The active for virtual resolve is to heal myself and nearby allies for 2,449. And it gives them regeneration and retaliation. Regeneration, duh. And it also removes 3 conditions. And I'll explain all of that later. All the blue things, that is for tooltips and my traits. Aegis, it's going to give them Aegis when I activate it. Protection, 4 seconds of stability. Stability, self-explanatory. Ignores control effects, stun, knockback, launch, sink, float, fear, daze. However, it does not remove those things. It's not a stun breaker. Stun breakers prevent CC, or cut it where it's like you're getting feared for 5 seconds and you use it in 3 seconds. You don't get those last 2 seconds. You just stop moving. Or you just remove the fear. That's basically what it is. And you get retaliation. But say if I were to use all of these together, I can use my elite skill. Renewed focus. It's got a 90-second cooldown, 2-second cast time, but the 2 seconds I cast it, I am completely invulnerable. Nothing can kill me unless I fall off a high point. But when I use this, I can recharge all my virtues to get them back into passive. Now, I'll use this aggressively. I don't use it as like last minute. Oh, I'm gonna save myself. I'm gonna take damage and die, because as soon as I use it, so I'm done using it, I'm going to die. But I can't cap points with it. It doesn't work that way. I'll get into my weapon skills shortly. I'm going to get into my utilities and my heal skill. Shelter. It's got a 1 1/4 casting time. I got a block duration of 2 seconds. Oh my god. Block attacks while healing. I get a lot of health back. 5,324 is a big chunk of 16,705. Recharge of 30 seconds. Nothing can hurt me unless I'm CC'd. But that's why I have stability. Ha 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 ha. Now, if I get poison on me, it's going to hurt me a lot. I don't heal as much. I heal 30%, 33% less, which is bad. That's why I need to remove conditions. Using the shouts and the virtue of resolve. Well, the shouts are instant. You can't interrupt them. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes, unless for some reason you're stunned, and I think it stops shouts. But anyway, it's an instant. It gives them protection and regeneration, and the shouts I use with my current trades, I'll show you the trades in a second, like I said, are converted into a boon. I think it also converts them on allies as well. And stand your ground. It's my anti-CC shout. It's gonna give them retaliation and stability, and convert it into the boon. 5 targets, and it's a stun breaker. Remember what I was telling you earlier. If I'm feared, or knocked down, or anything, if I am CC'd, as soon as I hit master skill, I'm out of it. It's like it never even happened, but it did happen to me. And I have Sanctuary. Form a protective healing shelter for allies and foes. And projectiles cannot enter. It's got a hell of a long recharge, but it's useful. It gives me about 8 seconds of reprieve. Yeah, it gives me 8 seconds. And it heals me for 3,210 of my health. Yeah. But it's not very big. But it's funny because nothing can enter and knock them back unless they have stability. That's a big no-no. I guess I can go ahead and show you the weapon skills. Now here, I got True Strike, Pure Strike, damage and damage. Then I have the Third Strike, which is part of the chain. Last hit, I hail everyone around me with a radius of, well, right about there. Anyone where he is, anyone around this area right here, they'll get healed. Say whack, whack, and then they heal. The next skill is a mark. You guys remember what marks is? You know what AoE is? It's a type of AoE, but you can see it. I'll get into combo fields later. Maybe in another video. This creates a mark. It's going to give me regenerations and heal me over time with a regeneration, but also damage foes. That's really good to have if you're going to stay on a cap point. This one, it forms a protective shelter around me and my allies. Anyone in this little circle you saw right there, they will get protection if I or they are not hit. But if they are, it'll just block that attack and do 1,144 damage. That's pretty good to have. Shield of Judgment. This is really important. Where's me an NPC? I don't think any players are on right now. Hopefully this will work. Okay, what this does is it shoots a wave in front of me in a cone that damages foes and gives protection to myself and the allies that it hits in that cone. So if already, well, I got it. Siege Master didn't. Protection's really helpful. It reduces all damage by 33%. 4 seconds is not long, but believe it or not, certain spike damage, it'll help. This skill, Shield of Absorption. This is so useful, so funny. If someone's using heal skill, which you'll see by a blue glow, like right here, you see the blue glow. Not the shield, but the blue glow initially. You could use this skill right here, which will knock them back. It'll last for 4 seconds. And knockback is a CC. It'll absorb projectiles for 4 seconds. Or I can detonate it and do a massive heal. So this golem right here gets knocked back, and I can detonate it right there and get the heal. It's really helpful. I'm going to show you what the effect of Sanctuary is real quick. It kind of acts like a mini dome. That's, yeah. Except for they can't enter it unless they have stability. This one, they just get knocked back. And the shields, players can walk through this one. They can't walk through that one unless they have stability. Staff skills. Wave of Wrath. It hits 5 foes like such. And that little cone you see, the virtual cone. And since I have Virtue of Justice, every 5th attack I do causes burning. So if I have 5 guys in the range, it's always going to get hit. Excluding if they have Aegis. They're going to get burning. You see how that? 5 attacks, 5 attacks, 5 attacks. It's really helpful. You have Orb of Light. What this is, it is pretty much what it is. What it says. You shoot where'd it go? You shoot an Orb of Light. It'll go through foes, and it'll go through allies. Each ally it goes through, it heals them. You can detonate it in midair for a burst heal, but it's not really that big. Uh, it's good for, I guess, long range support. And then you have Symbol of Swiftness. Swiftness increases your movement speed by 33%. The Symbol of Swiftness skill is a mark, much like that Symbol of Faith, and it'll do chip damage. That's pretty much all it is a movement skill. It helps movement skill traverse the battlefield, and a little bit of chip damage. It doesn't do a lot, but it does 5 pulses. It's also a combo field of light. Then you have Empower. Now, what this skill does is really, really fun. You'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 or 5. 4. I think I counted 4, and it'll give you might up to 12 stacks. And then at the end, you saw that blue light. That was a burst. It's going to heal you with a range of 600. So it's about right here. Everyone running around here inside that little invisible bubble I'm drawing is going to get healed. It's really good for helping your condition guys and your damage guys survive longer. You want to have them a lot of damage to dish out to pressure the enemy team. And then you have Line of Warding. I'll let it speak for itself. I don't think I'm going to hit this golem. Nope. Okay, what it does. Picture a sanctuary in a wall. He can't enter this, as I said before. It acts just the same way. He can't enter it, he can't cross it unless they have stability, but this is linear. So if there was a gate, pretend like this right here in front of me, it's got an arch on it. There's no other way around it. There he is, but if they were trying to run away from me, or my team, or they're trying to come at me, I can just stop their movement for a little bit. Why did you turn around right there, you douche? Ruined my video. Anyway, that's how staff stuff works. Now, as far as traits go, Guild Wars 2 has a trait system. Makes most things unique. However, people like to use metas. Metas are what works at the current time, which is the best, which is the fastest, which is the tankiest. People like the best. This game was supposed to be about diversity, play your own way, but now everyone wants to run what everyone else is running. It's a sheep. It's not fun. I'll get into that later. Traits. You have 5 different trait sets. Each one gives you certain things based on the class. Now, if a thief won't have the same as, thief won't have power and condition aeration here necessarily, and precision and condition damage here. But each trait you put points into. You can have a max of 70 total. You have 70 trait points total. You get them as you level up. Now in PvP, I have them all. Everyone does. You put them together to benefit your build. You build skills in your bar at the bottom over here based on what your traits are. If you know what you're doing. And I really don't. They're gonna complement your skills. They're gonna help you out a lot more. You put 10 points in Valor, you're also gonna get more toughness. And what toughness does? Toughness increases your armor. It makes your armor stronger. Armor means less damage, direct damage, not necessarily conditions. And vitality is your maximum health. And healing health is your base health. And you can only go so high on your armor. I get into critical damage, that's not really fun to talk about. Um, anyway, critical damage by 10%. Whatever your crit chance is, you have a higher chance to critical. Your critical, the damage is a percentage of your main base damage and your might or whatever else you have on at the time that you do the damage. Critical damage is increased with this. You go up in points. If I go any higher, it's going to go up by 1. Blah, 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 blah. The white ones, these white traits right here, those are inherent. You can't change those. But the wonderful thing... I gotta get out of combat here. I can't show you. There we go. The wonderful thing about this is you can set your traits to anything you want. I chose purity. Every 10 seconds, I automatically remove one condition. It doesn't help anybody else, it helps myself, which helps me stay a lot longer. Aegis, like I said, Aegis drops a boon on yourself. I block the next incoming attack for only 4 seconds when my health gets at 50 or lower. That's what helps me survive a lot longer. Moving down to honor, I get more vitality and more healing, so it helps me survive a lot longer as well. I get vigor, which increases endurance regeneration, more dodges every time I critical with a 5-second recharge. Now it lasts for 6.5 plus the initial 30%. That's about 7 something else. So I can, as long as I'm still attacking and I critical, I can keep my vigor up indefinitely. My shouts recharge is reduced by 20%, so I can yell at people more often. Selfless daring, that's going to heal every time I dodge, up to 5 people, and myself. Shield of absorption, I remember I showed you right here. That skill. That is going to happen when I try to revive someone. And as you see later on, when I find a match, someone goes down, I'm going to try to revive them. When I try to revive them, it's going to use that skill automatically around that ally and myself. Push them back, hopefully, as long as they have anti-CC on. When I try to revive them, add a little bit of support. When my endurance is not full, I deal extra damage, 10%. And allies that are affected by my shouts with pure voice have one condition converted into a boon. And I'm not sure, but I do think, depending on the condition automatically has a boon. I'm already set up for it, so if they get bleeding, I think it's regeneration and poisonous regeneration. If it's stun and stability, it's difficult to get into. My virtues, aside from the burning from justice, the little crap healing from resolve, and an Aegis from block, they get these extra effects. They get might from justice, regeneration from resolve, and protection from courage. That's going to be amazing. You see right here already in the tooltips. F2, my virtual resolves are going to be really helpful for the allied team to help remove those conditions from me and myself. And that burning in might's going to help them out with their offensive. Let's see here. Concentration skill, that little number 8 right here. That little tiny little bubble that I use is going to reduce the recharge in it. It's going to increase how long it stays up. It's going to be helpful for tanking. I get retaliation whenever I use a virtue. That's it. Yay! Absolute resolution. Now, this is going to increase my regenerative effect from virtual resolve as the passive. And it's going to increase the conditions removed to 3, so that helps me and my allies remove not one condition, but where'd it go? Anyway, I remove 3 instead of 1. It's going to help a lot. Each boon I have, I get increased 1% damage, not really much, but it helps. And activating Virtue of Courage is going to give me stability to myself and all new allies only for 4 seconds, so it's good in case you expect a fear coming or something like that. You don't want to get feared off. Stability, if you're feared, it does not remove the fear. That's only a stun breaker, which this skill is. If I get feared and I use a stun breaker, it's just removed and I can activate freely. I can move around and act freely. But if I were to just use this skill, which is not a stun breaker, and I just get stability, then it only prevents the next, CC, crowd control. But I'm still suffering from that crowd control I had before I activated this. So you gotta really be careful. That covers it for the traits I have, and I can show you how the combat thing for Guild Wars 2 is pretty nice as opposed to other MMOs. Right now, if you're out of combat like I am right now, and only in specific areas, not tournaments or something like that, you can change your skills when you have these arrows above the skill bar. You can change those. You can change them to whatever you want, whatever you have unlocked. For PvP, you already have everything unlocked except for the new heal skills, which require skill points, and that again is another video another time. When you have armor in PvP, armor has no stats regardless. It's a balancing issue. In PvE, it's an entirely different story. You have like Berserker's armor, Valkyrie armor, Knight's armor, for all armor types, light, medium, and heavy. Not everyone can wear heavy, not everyone can wear medium, and not everyone can wear light. All depends on the classes. But in PvP, you have your armor, which is basically your rune holder, and it has basic defense. Runes. Say I have 1 rune as a soldier on. Right now I have 6. If I have 1 rune, I'm only going to get that 25%, 25 vitality. But if I have 2 runes as a soldier on myself, I get a 25 vitality and the 50 toughness. It goes all the way down to 6. I have 6. Shouts remove the condition. Only on myself, though. So it helps me out a lot more. Less pressure on me. On my my mace here, every time I kill a foe or get credit for killing a foe, I get a plus 10 healing counter on my bar, which helps me heal a lot more, even to my allies. My shield, I got 50% of my endurance whenever I swap to this weapon while in combat. So whenever I don't see these arrows and I switch to my weapon, my shield and my mace, that's still just going to trigger. But it's got a cooldown of 9 seconds. And look, weapon swap in combat is 9 seconds. How about that? Unless you're a warrior. And the same thing is on my staff. As for the trinkets, in PvP, you only get 1 trinket, but you can choose a jewel. It's basically a combination of like the back piece, the earrings, rings, all into one, with select stats. They don't want everything to be overpowered. I guess I can go ahead and show you a quick match. I'm probably not gonna talk much during the match, but I will explain everything else, how to do it, as I do it. Right on Capricorn, it's a somewhat water map. And it's got a cannon on it, which it sounds like they were using, which is not good. Not every map has a cannon. You can see your party suffering from conditions. They're red. That means they're a downstairs. They're not dead, but they're going to die unless you do something to help them out. There's an ally. It's a mesmer. I'm gonna help him capture this real quick. Give him a little bit of protection. Just in case an enemy came by and tried to spike us like a thief. There's an enemy. Haha, I knocked you back, son. Call a target on him real quick. Oh, he looks really squishy. I'm gonna go ahead and get in the water. And the best thing about this game is there is underwater combat. I'm gonna kill you regardless. I'm not gonna give up until I kill you. Oh, I got you in the downstate now, brother. And you are dead, son. It's kind of hard to use this overwolf thing. Making my camera and my mouse rotate weird. The amount of combat now. I can go ahead and give them might. See, they're getting the might and all this cold junk. We're capping the base. We're losing, but we're capping the base. It's only a demonstration. I don't really care about winning or losing right now. He's putting it on a shadow refuge. When this circle disappears and that house disappears, we have the ability to move out of that circle and stay stealth. We are not seen whatsoever until he gets revealed. And you get revealed when you hit with an attack, or by some stupid chance someone else puts another refuge over you while the other circle's still up. There's a little brawl over here. I'm going to show you that little skill real quick. Oh, I guess I'm not. He died. I went down. He's gonna try to finish me off with a stomp, but watch this. Bam! Yep, that's that skill. It's kind of like a shield of absorption. Use me a little mark here. It helps me heal and revive. It helps other people that are down too. They won the match, but oh great. I hate this map so much. It's mostly a troll map. It's got like that cannon you saw shooting at us earlier. It's got a big cannon, bigger blast radius, and it knocks you down for 2 seconds, but it's a cap point, so it's pretty helpful. We got an LE, another Guardian, and a Ranger. I'll give them some swiftness over here. I got a warrior on my butt. Did you just Jump. I guess he did just jump. So when you step on these little blue pads here, they're across the whole map. After 2 seconds, they'll disappear. And you'll fall through the ground, and there's nothing you can do once you fall. And you are nuked. Or not. Looks like we got the lead. I'm gonna give him the support over here. You'll see the damage this thing does right here. Oh, they're trying to switch me over to the other team. Oh, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. Don't pick me. Yay. Yep. I downed a guy. That's awesome. This is my anti-cap. I hate this map so much, though. You can fall off the edges. People can shove you off the edges. So the thing about this cannon is it'll actually destroy those blue panels. He fell through. That's so funny. We got full control right now. Okay, I'm actually tired of doing this. This is boring. I'm not showing you what a Guardian can do. I haven't gotten into a real skirmish yet. Boing! And I'm going to stomp him. This wolf you see right here is a banner based on my finisher, and finishers are choosable. You can choose to buy some more or unlock them. You unlock them by getting higher rank. Right now I'm rank 30, which is the wolf. Before I had a fucking Dolyak, which is a big ass cow. I don't really like being a cow. Over here, help this guy. Give him some might and some burning. Cause I'll love him. I'll love him that way. Where you going? You ain't going nowhere. Yeah, a little bit of support. I'm actually playing support and just chasing them down because we have all the bases right now. Outranked everybody. That's funny. I want to get get into a scuffle. I'm kind of want to go to bed. I'm past my bedtime. Oh no. Poing. Oh, that ain't fun. Oh shit. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Map hell, pick abyss. Oh, that's gonna be fun. 3 guardians. We're not gonna die. Forward. Why didn't they kill me? Some fucking scrub with a goddamn money to spend on some stupid shit like a fucking finisher. Fucking worm finisher. We own all the bases. You don't own shit. See, the thing with this one is they can cap just fine, normally. But if they get an orb, they neutralize the base, or they fully cap it if it's already neutralized. It's really difficult because you don't have the ability for stealth. I just got 5 charges on my healing. I get more healing, son of a bitch. So that little trick that thief did was he shadow stepped away. And they're supposed to fix that. And he finished the animation, and right before he finished the animation, he shadow returned, so I couldn't do a damn thing about it. It's kind of a pussy thing to do. Oh, sorry for my language. Well, this can't go on YouTube. That's funny. While they're over there just bullshitting around, I'm gonna go over here to Wolf. Hell, they don't seem to be paying attention. When I cap Wolf, well, when I get to Wolf, you should see. Let me rephrase that. If I get to Wolf, you should see it'll turn white because I'm carrying an orb. As soon as I enter that ring, it should neutralize it. You can't put swiftness on. You move slower, and you can't go stealth. If you go invulnerable, like my skill, it'll drop it. So it's a pain in the ass, but you can, jump a lot. You can dodge if you have a skill like roll for initiative on a thief. You can actually use it. Piss off. Thank you, Steve. You helped me with that stomp. If you lose all your health, well, this current health, you go into a down state, which that warrior was just in right there, and you have the opportunity to heal yourself with skill 4, which you only have 4 skills. But if you're hit with damage or something like that while using skill 4, you get interrupted and it's put on recharge. If you, depending on your class, you'll have skill 2 and skill 1 different. Like a Necro get it life siphon, he can slowly sap health away and give it back to himself so he can get back up to an up state, like I'm in right now. He also has a fear as a Necro. As a Guardian, I get a little beam of light that goes pew, 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 and I got a skill 2 which acts just like Shield of Absorption, but it's only for like 1 second. You don't necessarily die when you lose all your health. It's different than PvE. And we won. Yay. See that skill? That was part of the trait whenever I revive someone. He didn't get the stomp off. I'm healing my buddy. I am going to actually end this match. Or this video. I guess I can go ahead and add some boon talk and everything with you guys watching right now. But I'm going to exit out of this match right here. I can go to the combo fields and the boons and the conditions, yeah. But it's going to be via wiki, and I'm going to show you a little command you can use. It's really helpful. In Guild Wars, you can do emotes. I'm pretty sure you can do that with almost any other video game too, like MMOs. Like I'm sure WoW had dance and shit. I didn't play it, but anyway, that's an emote dance. Now, the reason I'm getting into emotes is if you were to use this specific command I'm about to show you, you can open a page on your internet and have your game minimized instantly. It's not a big problem. What you want to do is you type /wiki, type in, I don't know, combo. It's going to open a browser, which in case it's going to do with freaking Overwolf. I didn't want it to. As you can see here, it says combos, also called skill combinations, happen when skills interact with each other and create an additional effect. A skill must be a combo field or a combo finisher to be combined. Get the hell off my screen. This, as it says under the skill description, is a combo field of light. Remember that. Now, if you use a combo finisher over or inside of a combo field, it's going to have an effect. For instance, if I use a light field, then a blast finisher is applied on that light field. It gives area retaliation to allies, up to 5 people, and it's going to prioritize party members over anyone else. If you're the only one in the party, it's going to give it to you plus 4 other random guys. If you're in a party of 3, it's going to give it to yourself, those 3, and 1 other guy. So, also 2 guys, because a party of 3 is basically considering yourself. Anyway, If you use a leap finisher, you're going to get your self-retaliation on the light field. If you use a projectile finisher, anyone in the way of that finisher, in the path of... Wait. If you were to use like a bullet or something and shoot through the light field, and there's the guy on the other end of the field or in the field that gets hit by your projectile, it's going to remove a condition. And cleansing bolts is pretty much just saying a bunch of finishers randomly shot in different directions. Now, dark fields, as an example, they're completely different than smoke fields. Area blindness for a blast finisher. Leap finisher is a blindness, and projectile finisher is life stealing. Not sure how much percentage it goes off of on the life stealing. World finisher, same thing. It's bolts. Don't even know why they have world finisher. It makes no damn sense. Ethereal. Now this is a fun one. Mesmer, Necro, Ranger, and Thief have the ability to get it. But Thief only gets it if he has, by some chance, to steal gunk. Chaos Armor. Now this Chaos Armor is I'll say it gives you random boons when you're hit, and your enemy or whatever is hitting you random conditions. Out of these, protection, regeneration, swiftness, and conditions of blind, confusion, and crippled. That's really fun. Same thing, 5 people, party prioritized. Elite finisher gives you chaos armor, no one else. Projectile finisher, confusion. I'll explain the confusion later after I get to the condition explanatory. And world finisher, confounding, same damn thing, confusion. Fire. This is really helpful because everyone loves it. Blast finisher on a fire field. Guardian has fire fields, warrior, engineer, ranger, and elementalist. Blast finisher gives 3 stacks of might for 20 seconds, each blast. Elite finisher gives fire armor. And what fire armor is, and it envelopes yourself in a shield of fire that burns foes and grants might each time you are struck. That is amazing. It's kind of a nice little effect on it too. I'd show you what it looks like, but I'm not able to use it. I kind of wish they had an animation.gif file, a picture, so I can show you what it looks like. Well, that's why you have Google. For a projectile finisher, it burns every time it passes through the field, and again, bolts. I'm just going to completely skip all the damn bolts, except for water. Water is completely different as far as bolts. Ice fields. Engineer, ranger, and elemental is going to have ice field. Frost armor is a blast finisher. When you use a blast finisher on the ice field, what frost armor is, it's pretty neat. It chills foes that strike you, and I'll get to chill later. Once per second per attacker. So if a guy hits you 5 times within, I don't know, a second, it's only going to give him 1 chill. And it reduces damage by 10%. It's amazing. There's not that many ice users out there, though. That's what's really weird. Elite finishers, frost armor on yourself, chilled projectile, and chilling bolts, blah blah blah. It goes on and on. You can see from this chart for each of everything else. As for lightning, only the LEs seem to have that. I was kind of hoping that they would have it later on to other people. But For Blast Finisher, for Lightning Field, you get area swiftness up to 5 allies. Again, party prioritize Elite Finisher. When you leap through this and you hit something, it's going to daze it, and that's another condition I'm going to get into. Projectile Finisher's Vulnerability, which is a condition. I'll get into that in a second as well. And same thing for Will Finisher. Weakness, another condition. Projectile Finisher is Poison. Poison bolts. And the really cool thing about smoke fields blind you if you're standing in them. It's a set interval duration for depending on what skill it is. But if there's a Blast Finisher on a smoke field, and I can show you this really quick. I'm gonna hop on my Thief, give you a little bit of a teaser. This is PvP. I'll hop into PvE with him though. I don't feel like changing my traits again. Oh. With the smoke field, if you were to use a Blast Finisher on it, depending on how big the blast is and where you hit in the blast field, as with any other skill and field, not necessarily just smoke, the effect is going to take into account of where the blast hits. And I'll show you what I mean. But it's going to give stealth with a Blast Finisher to 5 people. Stealth to yourself with Elite Finisher. Blindness, which is a condition on a Projectile Finisher. And I get blindness on a Whirling. Let me show you what this looks like. Okay, I'm on my Thief. Now, this right here is 100%. What's there? Yeah, this skill right here is always a physical projectile, as where Trick Shot, which is meh, is only 20%. So I want to show you what this looks like. This right here is a smoke field. It's not very big. So if I were to use this and then use a Elite Finisher, I get stealth on myself. When you use a combo finisher successfully, it'll have a little heart symbol, so it'll go blindness and then stealth. It'll let you know in a pop-up that you're using a combo field or not. Now, if you were to use this as an example of another combo finisher, which is a projectile finisher with smoke, it'll show you the blindness pop-up right there. It's pretty nifty. As where, let me regenerate my initiative here. As where if you use a black powder switch and use a Blast Finisher, you see how big that green is? Right here. I'm gonna move over here. I want to see if I can get it right there. Yep, I think I can get it. Alright, you see how big the field is? It's not very big. It doesn't reach this guard here. Right? But if I were to use the blast field, which touches him... Well, that's ghetto. That's not right. I don't think I can do NPCs. I'll find someone AFK. Okay. You see... My blast reaches him, the field doesn't. The blast takes into account the field's radius first. It's completely different. In a different perspective, though. If I were to use... I think I could find a test dummy. That'll be helpful. I love test dummies. They're so cuddly. My graphics don't look that great on this game. I have to keep a good FPS. I really don't run max graphics. I'm in performance mode. I like to perform better than I would to actually look better. Anyway, that's trick shot, bouncy, bouncy. Okay, now this skill right here. You see this poison gas? It's a poison field. As you remember, as I told you earlier, poison fields create weakness when you blast into them. So I'm going to put a field here, and I'm going to poison this dummy right here. That guy right there. I'm not going to worry about that guy, but you'll see the effect I'm trying to tell you later. I'm going to give him weakness over here, but I want to poison this guy. Well, apparently I can't fucking poison or weaken a dummy, but you get the idea. Anyway. Blast finisher right here. It's a little heart puzzle thing down there. It says combo finisher blast. And this is a poison field. I use a poison field, then I can use a blast. And you see it does a weakness. That's really... It's really useful in this game, because this is the first game I've seen that actually uses something like this. Anyway, back to this. Healing water fields. Engineers, rangers, and elementalists are the only ones with water fields. Period. Unless there's some stupid NPC with weird whack-out skill combinations. Blast finisher is area healing to the size of the blast, not the water field. Leap finisher, healing to yourself. Projectile finisher gives regeneration, much like the life-stealing thing, if it passes through or by someone. As long as the projectile passes through the field, no matter, depending on the range of the projectile. If the projectile is 1,200, which is longbow range, and it passes through a small field, and it's already past the field, and it still hits a guy, or passes through a guy, an ally, it's going to give him regeneration. And the same thing for healing bolts. Healing bolts is completely different than regeneration. Healing is chunk health. Regeneration is over time. That's good. And it says right down here, some projectiles only grant a 20% chance of applying an effect for each projectile. That's this trick shot right here. And usually skill 1s on gadgets or weapons are usually 20%, because, well, they don't have a recharge. Skill 1s don't have a recharge. I guess we can go ahead and move to conditions. They are negative effects that hinder damage and control on players. So, you get bleeding, which inflicts a random set amount of damage per second, depending on your condition damage. And you can change your condition damage in your traits and based on your skills, and it stacks in intensity up to 25. So you can have 25 stacks per second. That's 25 ticks per second. Blind. It targets the next hit to miss instead of land. Blindness affects everything. Now, unless you're an engineer, of course, and you have those goggles, skill, whatever it is, blindness is going to hurt you a lot in most things. Utilize blindness. It stacks duration, but it has a cap as of the latest patch. Burning. Same thing for bleeding, but it does a lot more damage in slower ticks. It stacks in duration, not intensity. Chilled. What chilled does, it reduces the movement speed and skill recharge of anything you use by 66%. Now on thieves, this is not the case unless they use a utility skill. Utility skills have recharges on thieves. Skills on the weapon side, which is 1 through 5, have no recharge. Ridiculous, because we use initiative, not skill recharge. So it's pretty good, aside from cripple, confusion. Again, it's the same as bleeding and burning, but it only does damage on skill use, not dodges. It stacks intensity, so it does stack up like bleeding and such. Crippled, reduces movement speed by 50%. It stacks and duration. Dodging doesn't go as far. You move slower, you hop slower. I don't know why anyone uses the jump because they're scared, but they will. Fear. Wherever the caster is during the use of the fear, they will they'll run away from it. If I were to use a mark, say my poison field I showed you where there is as it causes fear. Well, they're gonna run away from me, not the mark. Keep that in mind. Immobilized. Again, it does prevent dodge, so that's a very dangerous thing you want to keep off of yourself. Stacks in duration. Fear also stacks in duration. Poison, it's a slower damage. It's like bleeding, but it doesn't stack in intensity. It stacks in duration, but it's a slower damage, but a higher damage than bleeding. More of a lesser DPS condition. It reduces all heals by 33%. So if you're healing yourself, 33%. If someone heals you, 33%. Make sure you remove that. Torment is a new condition that they recently added. It does damage over a second, like bleeding. Slower, about burning speed, I would say, and if you're moving, it does double the damage, and it stacks in intensity. It's good for people that are kiting away from you, or enemies that are kiting away from you. Good DPS. Vulnerability. Now this increases the damage of the target that has vulnerability on it by 1%, and it stacks up to 25%. That's what stacks in intensity. This is great because if you're a high damage dealer, it's going to increase a lot when you get 25 stacks. Weakness. I hate this one. It causes 50% of attacks to be glancing and reduces the endurance regeneration on them by 50%, which is 50% less dodge regeneration. It stacks in duration. And what glancing is right here is a fumble or a glancing hit is a type of attack that does 50% less damage. It is primarily caused by weakness or when players are fighting an NPC of a higher level than themselves. Or weakness. Now, there are skills that remove conditions. There are skills that cause conditions. Duh. And you will learn about that if I ever convince you guys to get the damn game. Let's see here. I went into combo fields, I went into conditions. Let's go to boons. And then I'm going to bed. There, by the way, there are things that reduce condition duration, increase condition duration, etc., as well as boons. Now, boons are helpful, yes, learn it. Aegis blocks the next attack, stacks on duration. Fury is 20% critical chance increase. And what critical is, it is, let's say what it says is a mechanic that offers a chance that an attack causing direct damage can inflict extra damage. That's basically the dumb version that I don't really want to go through, so I'm just going to tell you it that way. Might. Depending on your current power, it's going to give you a bonus on the power and condition damage increase. Stacks intensity, 25%, 25 stacks. Protection is 33 damage reduction percent. Stacks and duration. This is helpful. If you got a heavy hitter hitting you and you want to take less damage, pop protection on. Regeneration. Now, you have to count it to a fact that you do generate health over time with the regeneration on. And it stacks in duration, not intensity. So if you have regeneration on and you have bleeding and poison, you're not going to regenerate as much, especially with poison on, because it reduces your health, your healing by 33%. So have poison off when you're regenerating and bleeding. Anything that does DPS over time, you want as much sustain as possible with regeneration. Retaliation reflects incoming damage back to the source each time they hit you. Now, as I was saying earlier on in the vid at the beginning, retaliation and protection on yourself, you're not going to suffer the full 1000 damage, but they will receive the full 1000 damage because you have retaliation on and protection. Protection is going to help you take less damage from that 1000 damage they were dealing to you, but the retaliation is going to give them the full 1000 back. That's the way it works. Stability. This is an anti-CC crowd control skill. Learn that. You can't be knocked down. You can't be pushed back, which is a blowback also. Launched, also blowback. Stunned, dazed, floated, sunk, or feared. You can't really worry about floated or sunk unless you're in water combat. It doesn't mention anything about pulled because Scorpion Wire can pull you and that magnet skill from the shield from Engineer can pull you too, but it protects you from that. You can still die if you fall off, so falling off is completely different than being knocked down. Swiftness, movement increases, stacks duration. Vigor increases faster endurance regeneration. More dodges more often. Stacks in duration. Now, to get into stuns, dazes. Stun break is a canceling skill of control effects, such as stun. And what stun is a control effect that disables all skills and interrupts any current action. So if you're healing and I stun you, it interrupted it, and it's going to put it on recharge. Stun cannot move or activate skills. They are completely useless unless they have a stun breaker. They don't last long. It's just a quick, effective interrupt. Now what? Where'd it go? Daze. Now this one's fun. Daze is a stun. It's not necessarily stun itself, but Daze does interrupt skills. It prevents them from using skills unless it's stun breaker, but they can still move and dodge. It's like a little brother of stun. Fear, like I told you earlier, forces them to run in the opposite direction, unable to use any skills except for stun breakers and or shouts, and forces them to run in another direction. Float, it's pretty much fear into water except for they float to the surface. Knock back, duh. Knock down, duh. Launch, same thing. Pull, depending on the skill, it'll drag them to you. Sometimes it'll knock them down depending on the skill. Sink, duh. And stun, we already got to that. But petrified is something you need. The only thing that can actually cause you to be petrified is Basilisk Venom. And petrified is pretty much a stun. So, it's just got its own thing. Ice block. I don't even know what this is. This is shocking. Freeze is a control effect that completely immobilizes the target and cannot be removed. Ooh. With a stun break, the target becomes trapped in an invisible block of ice that can be destroyed like other objects. I found a new skill. Okay, there's something I didn't cover. What did I not cover? Boredom. I guess I should go ahead and explain I'm currently invisible. It ends if I deal damage. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, that Shadow Refuge, that thief tried to use on me earlier, and I knocked him out of. This white line, if I were to walk out of it, I'm revealed for 3 seconds. I can't do a damn thing and go back stealth regardless. I'm stealth for 3 seconds, but if I deal damage, I'm revealed. I can't go stealth. But the thing is, with thieves, stop attacking Numsy. My skill 1s on any weapon set when I'm stealth change to something that will benefit from it. For instance, right now I have, double strike, wild strike, and all this, but backstab. If I attack my foe from behind or on the side while in stealth, it'll double damage. It's amazing. But that's the way stealth works. Mesmers, engineers, and rangers have stealth, but thief can utilize it a lot more often. We have the most activatable, longer lasting stealth skills. Combo field smoke, blast field, that already gives me stealth, longer stealth. Ta-da! So it's pretty neat. Dark field, world finishers. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you guys wanted to know anything else about this game, let me know, and I'll make videos or tell you about it. I'm going to show you what graphics looks like maxed. Probably going to crash, but because my PC is a piece of crap when it comes to appearance. Oh, look at that. Yep, I didn't crash. Man, the graphics are great, but my FPS went down to 10, 9. That sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. But the graphics are great whenever you're in a low pop emulation area or there's not so much animation. It's really good looking. But you can experiment with it later. Guess I can go back to performance mode and show you what ground targeting skill is. This skill, no matter where I'm at, it's always going to be at me. It's not ground targeted. Now this is a ground target icon. That's ground targeting. I can aim it with my mouse and I can shoot it. Some skills have the ability to detonate. So I can choose to shoot this one over here and it does a mass amount of damage and least bleeds. Or I can choose to shoot over here and then hit it again and it'll detonate, do less damage but multiple damage and do more bleeds. It does 3 impacts. Chain skills. So I got what is that? I got double strike. Strike my foe twice. Lead skill, Lotus Strike, which poisons them, and Wild Strike, which gives me some endurance back. So that's one of the chain skills in the game. And they usually start off with skill 1. It's pretty nice, this game, but and I gotta explain shadow steps. Oh my god, there's so much. I want to cover the basics in one whole video. Okay, shadow step, point A, where I am right now, point B. Ta-da! Pretty neat, huh? Ta-da! That's how it works. Skill 3, shadow shot. I'm at point A, target's over there. Poof. Not everything has a shadow step. So there. I'll explain more later. For now, Lithral's going to bed. Talk to you later.